Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the Nations Cup. I do not have to cast off a clean feed for another best of three. Let's frickin' go. On the left-hand side, we have the Russian players. And on the right, it is going to be Finland. So we're going to see another game from Finland here. We'll see how this series goes as we're getting into Sky Temple map number 1. I do want to break down how we got to Sky Temple for our first map here. It looks like, and I have to just double check on the player names, the members of Finland won the coin flip, opting for first pick priority. Finland banned away Dragonshire and Garden of Terror. Towers of Doom and Brax's Holdout were banned out by the Russian players, and this is going to be Sky Temple, chosen by the Russian players, and first pick priority is over to the side of Finland. So we'll see what is going to be the shenanigans here on Sky Temple. You know, I gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed that every series has a Braxis ban. First pick, a Nubarak for the side of Finland. They are coming out swinging for aggression. A Nubarak, very, very good on a map like this as well. You can solo the objective phase, spawning those beetles. It's just a strong tank in general with the Kakuna as well. You wouldn't have to worry about pulling it off, just worry about keeping it on. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. No one wants to see that. Nobody. Oh god, Blazer Rhaegar on the left-hand side, and do we get a Grey Mane with this early on? Do we just get a very aggressive composition? It's gonna be Andu and Jaina. Okay, still a nice 1-2 punch from those two. So you have the Burrow, Impale into a Chastise, followed up by a lot of just burst ability from the Jaina. As we get into another ban phase here, I want to remind you all as well that the heroes that are banned away at the top of the screen, those are not added to the ban list. Excuse me. The heroes that are picked, so for example, a Nubarak, Andu, and Jaina, Blaze, Rhaegar. Those are the heroes that are going to be banned away in this best of 3 series. There are no global bans. There's no initial bans like onto Blaze, Genji, Hanzo, stuff like that, like we've seen in previous Meta Madness. Obviously, this is Nations Cup, so a little bit different, but just want to remind you all that that is the draft style of all of this. So we're going to see unique drafts, especially if we get into that map number 3. That's really the big reason that I'm so excited to potentially make it to a map number 3 in one of these best of 3s is that you actually have, at the start of that draft, 20 heroes banned away, plus the 4 at the top, actually plus the 6 at the top in total. Abathur Illidan, let's go for Finland. Where are my Abathur one tricks? Where are my Abathur OTPs? Where are my Abathur lovers? Where is the slugs in chat? Because get your predictions ready. This is an Abathur Illidan for Sky Temple. I actually really like the draft of Finland. How do you wrap this up over on the side of Russian players? They're going to need a little extra damage. They could either go into a hypercarry Hanzo, or they could be looking for some more damage. Sustain is the direction, and into the Tracer. Well, if it isn't my favorite caster, Bob Ross lookalike bandit owner, Bahamut, how am I today? I'm doing pretty good. I actually got some, relatively good sleep. I got some relatively good sleep last night, so I am pretty happy about it. Let's get some gambles going, though, chat. Let's get some gambles going. We have our map number 1. Let's go ahead and write out our predictions. Sky Temple. Which team will win Sky Temple? Will it be the Russian players, or will Finland win Sky Temple? We go ahead. We're going to start our load in on the map here. So I'm just making sure that stream does catch up because there is a delay. So let's go ahead and start that prediction. You know the dealio.
Listen.
Gamble has begun. Who wins Sky Temple? Map number 1 in the 3rd best of 3 of the day here in the Nations Cup Group B qualifier. Tomorrow will be 3 more Group B qualifier matchups. We'll talk about those later on. Saturday will be all of Group C, and Sunday will be all of Group D. I should be around for the vast majority, if not all, of Saturday and Sunday. I will probably miss 1 match on both of those days as the casting day starts at 5 a.m. I don't think I'm going to be getting up at 4 a.m. for those. Plus, I got 2 dogs I got to watch. On the left-hand side, we got the Russian players. We've got Ren on the Rhaegar, Bish playing the Tracer. We're just going to go with some shorter names. We'll go with Q on this Hanzo, Shazak 1D, Shazakadid. On the Joanna, and we'll see my try on that Blaze. Yeah, I am trying my hardest. There's your level 1s if that does matter as well for your prediction. Vi on the Jaina for the side of Finland, MXD on the Abathur, Duke playing the Greymane, Folk on the Anubrak, and Pat to play the Illidan as we get into our first engagement around this Eye of Vision. A ton of damage onto the Jaina. She's trying to back away the Tracer. Oh, it's a Kaimo Cleanse. Oh, it's a double kill. Oh, it's just gonna be a triple kill.
Double kill. Triple kill.
For the side of the Russian players, once again, Finland not able to close out on those low health bars. Russia needs Salt to deal with that slug. I prefer the way my dad does it, in which he gets a 40 of beer, and he's got, like, you know the bottom of, like, tuna cans? You know, like, how, like, a tuna can looks, how it's kind of small and it has that little, like, 1-inch profile? He'll put around his garden, he'll take the, like, 4 tuna cans, empty ones, and put beer in it. Nice kill into Blazing Mid. He'll put a little bit of beer in it, and then the slugs go in there, and then they drown and die. The other reason I like that is because usually then there's half a 40 to drink, and usually I'm the one to drink it because I'll drink a 40. Anyways, there's your little gardening tip. If you have a bunch of slugs in your garden, go get yourself a 40 of King Cobra or something. Get bit by the Cobra and so will the slugs. Anubrak burrows on to Bish here. The Tracer getting a little bit low. We've got the Joanna anchoring on the point. She's getting very low as well. Leap of Faith from Anduin pulls, I think, Illidan off the point. I think that was the Illidan pulled away right there. He actually immediately goes back in. Excuse me, sorry. My apologies. Speaking of 40s, those are, when I moved out to California, I realized very early that's not a big thing out here. At least not in Tahoe. Meanwhile, when you go to Michigan, I mean, you can get 40. I mean, there's a variety. But when you drink that half of the 40, do you find the slugs improve the flavor? Shut up. Ugh. Shut up. You prefer Old E? I can't do malt liquor anymore. I can't. I hate the flavor. Old English or like King Cobra, as well as Colt 45 was actually my go-to for the longest time, but I can't drink it. There's one that everyone drinks as well, and I can't remember the name. Mickey's is one I can't do anymore. But, like, back in Michigan, you can get, like, a 40 of, like, Miller or Bud Light or Coors Light or Labatt's or, you know. So it's not all malt liquor in 40s, which is nice. Anyways. That's what I should have my dad bring next time they come visit. I'll just be like, can you bring me a couple 40s from Michigan? Schlitz? I've had Schlitz. It's not a 40 go-to for me. I believe Schlitz is what they used to serve at a bar called Circa, and you would go there and there would be pitcher night, and I think it was like $2 for a pitcher of Schlitz or something. Oh, it was so cheap. And I'll never forget, like, I went in there. I was very polite. It was the first time I ever went with all my buddies' friends. And they all get pitchers and they just start drinking out of the pitcher, and like I'm sitting there pouring into a glass. I'm like, oh, that's how we're doing this. All right. Didn't realize that we just drink out of the pitcher. 10 stacks for the Hanzo right now in simple geometry level 1. We've got 8 regeneration globes for the Jaina on her Fingers of Frost. Chastise, piercing light from the Anduin with 0 stacks. As Finland is rotated down into bottom lane, they're gonna try and lock this Joanna in place. They might be able to get a kill on her, and they do. Cleanse from Rhaegar, not going to get the value that they were hoping for. Pulse Bomb onto Trace, or onto the Jaina. She's going to be fine. Gets healed up by Anduin immediately. Let's cycle through the other numbers. 10 talents here will be first for the side of Russian players at the current pacing. Could change up. Could see some kills. Actually, speaking of kills, top lane, I saw the Hanzo trying to jump in here and pressure the Illidan, but Jet propulsion from Blaze not connecting. The Abathur hat is helping out a little bit, but the Illidan's a bit low. It has to avoid some of that poke damage from Ha! Maybe a counter kill on top. Blaze is getting rooted. Will he get booted? Body blocks from Anubarak are in place. The slows from Jaina are there. She's got the Abathur hat, but Blaze gets out and bottom lane fort falls. It's a double fort phase for the side of Russian players. Will they lose Q? No. Invade onto the camp. 10 talent tier for the side of Russian players. We'll see what the Tracer upgrade is for her Pulse Bomb as we have the Hanzo with the Dragon's Arrow. Blessed Shield for the Joanna, which she'll pop immediately into the face of this Illidan. Pulse Bomb from Tracer was there as well. I do think Tracer has the sustained damage to take down this Illidan, and yes, he will fall. The arrow is going to be
Now this is pod racing.
a little wide right there. Bish getting low, needs to... Oh, the recall! Does the Tracer get the Ancestral? 35 HP is the lowest I saw her go. Rhaegar gets the bite on the butt of this Anubarak, and Finland is falling apart here to the Russian players as the second objective phase is up and available. Second objective phase will be coming through. The first one is always in the top and the center, and the second objective phase is singular in the bottom, and then after that it starts to randomize around the map. 10 talent tier just about to be here for Finland. Edward 40 hands stream when? When I can date someone who can help me out when I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, going to the bathroom when you're playing Edward 40 hands is you either sit there and hold it until you can take them both off, or you get some help. Bottom lane objective over to the side of Finland. They've got the clone of Jaina. Now keep in mind, I always like to point this out because I feel like it's a fact or a little tidbit that's always overlooked when we look at Abathur clone targets. So it's not only are you cloning, allied hero and controller for 20 seconds, but also the perfected clone is granted 20% spell power and 20% bonus attack damage and 10% bonus movement speed. So that's the one thing that I always like to bring up here because I think that's overlooked very often with Ultimate Evolutions. Like, yeah, you get the Ultimate Evolution, but the target is very important as well. Jaina's a fantastic target because of that spell power increase. Also, the Jaina clone benefits from... Jaina original and Jaina clone benefit from the chill mark, or whatever it is. The trait from Jaina applies and works between both of them. So there is that synergy as well. As we are going to be talking about some facts about Abathur, this is going to be a quadra kill. Actually, maybe not a quadra kill. Blessed Shield is not up and available, and I think the Joanna has to back away. You ordered a calzone for lunch today, and Dan was so big you can barely move after eating it. What's up, Epic? How are you doing, bud? Man, calzone sounds really good. My go-to is always from Hungry Howie's. I think Hungry Howie's has a pretty good calzone as like a chain restaurant. I had one calzone up here, and they used the spaghetti sauce in it instead. It was off. Oh, I hated it. I didn't like it. I haven't had a good calzone in a while, except for the one that I accidentally made. 13 talent tier advantage to the Russian players as they'll grab another camper on the bottom left of our screen. Boss will be working his way through this lane as well. We could see the bottom lane keep fall. We've already got one keep to go down. MXD cloning the Jaina immediately cleared out, getting not much, if any, value. Mule is called down from Abathur to try and heal up a bit of the damage coming in. That's a great jet propulsion from Blaze. Gets the stun onto 2. The leap of faith from Anduin. Pulse bomb onto Anduin as Illidan will use Metamorphosis to try and back away. The arrow goes wide from Hanzo as the Tracer is extremely low. Has to cycle out to get some healing from Rhaegar. How much HP is in the boss? About a 16th or so. Excuse me. So the mid lane keep and keep front gate is up and available, still very healthy. Double temple phase will take down all of that. I don't know if it ends, though. I don't know if there's enough shots to take down all of that structure and end the game. We'll find out fairly soon. How do you accidentally make a calzone? This is one-sided. A lot of the games have been one-sided, to be honest, in the qualifier. A lot of the games have felt very one-sided. I will be honest about it. The Anubarak will fall as well. As I'm assuming Illidan, who gets the light bomb from Anduin, but it doesn't work out. We will see Tracer chasing on to Jaina. Ice block, improved ice block mitigates the pulse bomb. Jaina might be able to back away here. Tracer slowed by a blizzard. Joanna getting shots. No, Abathur, she's mounted. She's out. Mule down from Abathur. Some mines here in mid lane as well to try and push back the minion wave. Blaze and Joanna do have shots from top and bottom. This actually should be end from objective. I'm honestly not 100% sure when it comes to damage on these things. Blaze gets the last shots. Hanzo uses the Dragon's Arrow to slow down the enemy chasing in. So it's not enough to end the game. We're going to be seeing a 41% core, but keep in mind, Abathur's got mules, so keep your eyes on that health. No keeps are available. This is a 16 talent tier advantage fight for the side of Russian players, as they're just trying to Rhaegar's just running away from Illidan, and it doesn't matter. Meanwhile, Blaze and Anubarak are going to brawl out in the top lane. Abathur Mule has not been called down onto core just yet. I'm checking when that's off cooldown. In 1 second, it should come down onto core. My try is going to be fine in the top lane as he drops the bunker down, mitigating light bomb. Joanna comes in with a huge condemn. Metamorphosis to back out from the Illidan. Is really Abathur not gonna summon Mule onto core? There it is. Sorry, I was like, come on, Abathur, you gotta get that thing out as quick as possible. You gotta get that thing out as quick as possible. Illidan should die. Jaina will be able to clear out the catapults here, as well as the incoming wave through bottom. Little scatter out from Hanzo. This is going to be Mule getting the core back up to about 60. Well, it was almost 60%, but now there's damage from catapults in bottom lane. We've got Anubarak burrowing forward, but it looks like Russian players should be able to solidify their victory here in map number 1. Blessed Shield from the Joanna Ancestor Healing onto the Blaze, but as I had mentioned, with all structures still up, the bottom lane forward on a sliver, Russian players take a fairly strong map number 1 in this best of 3. As a reminder, we do have a sponsored stream later on today. We're playing some Marvel Snap, so if you enjoy the game, if you have some decks that you'd like us to try, we'll be taking some recommendations from chat, because this might be another 2-0. We may have another day of 2-0s here for the first qualifier for EU teams. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into Nations Cup, map number 2 in our third best of 3 of the day. We have Russian players on the left-hand side, and we have got Finland on the right. We're going to Battlefield of Eternity. Now, as a reminder, the way that the draft system works for this is that the Blaze, Rhaegar, Joanna, Hanzo, Tracer, Anubarak, Anduin, Jaina, Abathur, and Illidan will all be unavailable for this map. You still have heroes that you can ban away, like Genji, for example. So Genji will not be playable in this map number 2. We'll see. Can Finland put up a map on the board? Can they start to rally here in a what would be a reverse sweep, technically? It's a best of 3, so you can still have reverse sweeps, and this would be the time to do it, as we are going to see that Genji first ban, a Lucio as well. What is the secret sauce from Finland? Because I do want to point out, this is a first pick priority from Finland, so they are going to be looking at, they have a draft idea in mind. They don't really care, or maybe they don't mind the map, but they just want to have that first pick priority. As we get into another ban here from the side of Finland, what do they not want to deal with? These are kind of the questions that we have to figure out as the game progresses, since there are those 10 bans already in place. Uther banned away. Do we see Finland go into like a hammer composition, like protect the hammer composition for Battlefield of Eternity? That definitely can be the way, that can be something that's played here. Sustained damage dealers on the objective phase. I mean, we're still looking at like Cassie is available, Falstead's available. We have Greymane, Raynor, Lunara, so there's still a lot available. And Hogger will be the first pick for the side of Finland. Imagine banning Uther, sad times. Maybe happy times, you know? Maybe it's a happy time. There's something in there they don't want to deal with the Uther. Li Ming and what? What are they going to grab immediately? Li Ming Brightwing. That is... Oh, I hate that skin on Brightwing. That is a nice start for the side of the Russian players. 2 more picks over to the side of Finland. Hogger and... What else are you going to grab here? Could see the main tank plus the healer. Still a lot of tanks up and available. Tons of tanks up and available as well. Alright, Tyrael and Stukov. So with Tyrael, we often would see Tracer paired into that, but obviously Tracer is not available since she was played in the previous map. So usually it's some sort of mobile sustained damage dealer. Greymane wouldn't be a bad ban here unless the Russian players plan to pick it after this ban phase. Russian players will have the first pick after this ban phase. I need to grab a sweater or something like that. I'm cold today. Sergeant Hammer banned. Okay, so they don't want to deal with the hammer. And actually, as I look at the composition for Finland, it makes a lot of sense. Hogger displacement, Tyrael with speed and shielding, Stukov, massive shove, flailing swipe, lurking arms. There's good control around the hammer, but that was a very quick Maiev ban. So really not wanting to deal with the Maiev here on the side of Finland as Varian Dahaka's grabbed. It's a nice 1-2 punch as well to follow up the Li Ming Brightwing. I guess it'd be a 3-4 punch if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of it all, because Li Ming is going to be amplified by Varian's ability to charge, taunt, Brightwing with the polymorph, drag from Dahaka, single target deletion's really strong as we get into the last 2 picks for the side of Finland. Solo lane Tyrael, hypercarry Cho'Gall. Let's fucking go, Finland. Let's go, hypercarry Cho'Gall. Karazim and Vala. I actually really do like this a ton. I really like the Karazim Vala here. This is a strong composition from Finland that will be matched by the blinds of Cassia. Alrighty, so we have our draft. We are going to get into our swap round. While the teams are swapping around, let me go ahead and start a prediction. Alrighty, which team will be winning Battlefield of Eternity? I'm gonna wait for that little swap phase to go up on stream. That way I can start the prediction then. And y'all have got some ample time to get some votes in, see the level 1s, maybe even take a peek at the first engagement before you get your votes swayed. There you go. There's the dealio.
Hey, listen.
The gamble has begun. Could be the final map of the day. Could be the final map of the day. Or Finland could be the first team to take us into a map number 3. They're fighting for it. We'll see if they can do it. On the left-hand side of the map, we have got Russian players. We got Shadaski on the Varian. We've got Q on the Li Ming, Ren playing the Brightwing. We've got Bish playing Cassia, and Dahaka to be played by Maitri. To the right-hand side, we have got our Finland players. We've got Pat on the Hogger, Karazim to be played by Vi, MXD on the Vala, Folk playing this, Tyrael, Duke on the Stukov, and that'll be the members of Finland. I got a feeling, chat. I got a feeling. This is the game. This is the one they're gonna do it. Finland's gonna do it. I said that in the last series. I was wrong. But maybe with the double support, they can do this. Double support, hypercarry Vala, Q build. Stukov gonna be going into Fetid Touch level 1, so he also has the ability to toggle his damage being range or melee. As Varian has come down here, he's gonna be going into the Lion's Maw level 1, picking up those 25 stacks off the queue, as the bottom lane siege is gonna be heavy with the Li Ming showing a top lane and Dahaka up against the Hogger. Taking a peek up into this top lane, Li Ming has already taken down one tower. Trade-wise, I mean, spread damage between the two towers in the gate as Li Ming just sieges from afar. Meanwhile, another wave needs to be shoved in before they start their siege in this bottom lane. Kharazim breaks off. So they're losing in top lane quickly here. Li Ming just getting magic missile after magic missile into the fort tower. Fight maybe breaking out. Dahaka's going to brush talk down to the bottom lane. No, he's actually going to cancel that right now. We do have a polymorph onto the Vala who's trying to back away, vaulting away from the Cassia. The phase shift from Brightwing taking just a little too long, and the camp will go over to... Oh, Varian! Vala turned around to try and find the kill with the double support around her, but she doesn't get any healing, and that is Varian to be traded for Vala. 2 kills in favor for Finland early on in this map, but as we take a look at early game experience, that's not a ton of a difference. That's not a ton of a difference. I don't know why that phrasing sounds weird. Not a major difference between those two experiences. Ooh, a little bit of side bounce from Hogger. Dahaka is going to be showing on the left-hand side. Vala is working her way or rotating into all of this. Dahaka will go for the drag, landing it onto a minion. Kharazim rotating into this as well. We'll have the objective phase announced in about 20 seconds, contested in 50. In bottom lane, some siege with Cassia and friends will be had. Cassia holding her level 4 for the time being. Varian is going to do his best to slow down the enemy with a taunt here and there. That's already been used. 10 seconds on that talent cooldown. Healing from Stukov is good so far. He also is holding his level 4. Cassia going to be going into the Blinded by the Light, or the Inner Light, excuse me. I'm interested in hearing how you developed your casting style since you started. Do you have regular conversations like you cast or notice any changes? I mean, I've had feedback and stuff from people. Like back when I did CCL, Doa used to give me feedback. I'd get feedback here and there from Gilly. I'd watch back my VODs and try and find little things that I could work on, whether it be crutch words, repeating the same phrasing, using incorrect phrasing. It's just a lot of practice. I don't get it right every day, but, you know, some days I cast good, some days I have crutch words. And some days Vala goes down very quickly. That is another kill over to the side of Russian players. But I'd say that's the big thing, is just, you know, consistent practicing and casting, getting more comfortable in my verbiage and what I'm talking about. Taunt from Varian will connect onto the Tyrael as Folk backs away in this bottom lane. We do have the Kharazim trying to punch his way through the wave, and a little bit of damage here and there onto Cassia and Varian as the objective phase will be hitting the 50% mark, favoring the members of Russian players. Yeah. Q-build Vala gonna try and shred through this immortal phase. You can actually take a look at both of these over here on the left and the right-hand side. The reason that it's not going so quickly is Hogger was not here. I mean, maybe. Team fight over the regen globes. We've got Kharazim jumping on top of this Brightwing. Soothing mist from her to try and back away. She's got that critical mist as Vala vaults forward, trying to also get some stacks on her. Level 1, puncturing arrow. Tyrael does go down. He doesn't even get cooldown reduction on his death timer. Kharazim goes down as well. A little too deep of a chase here from Finland. And that is going to be reset city for Li Ming. I think Stukov will fall as well. Do they get the kill onto Hogger? Nah, he's fine in the top lane. Meanwhile, Alarian getting some fantastic siege in this lane. Doing over 1,000 damage into structures. Still with another 7,000 HP left. As Hogger does go down the top lane, that is technically a
team kill.
Okay. Excuse me. So the bottom lane fort falls, the top lane goes down as well. We are looking at the 10 talent tiers, so I always go ahead and cycle through those numbers for all of you at home. 3 stacks to go for Varian's level 1, by the way. Taunt will connect onto the Kharazim as I'm trying to take a drink of water. The phase shift from Brightwing doesn't come through in time. This is actually huge for Finland. I thought Hogger was going to have enough garbage in front of the gate to deny Varian's retreat, but it doesn't work out. Phase shift from Brightwing will be canceled as the Dahaka burrows under the ground. Varian is going to try and charge in onto enemy heroes, but does not land any sort of CC for a potential kill onto the enemy. Still, though, 10 talent tier will be achieved first by the side of Russian players. That they are down that Li Ming for a few more moments as she's rotating back into the fight. This is delayed out, and Li Ming will enter into this. Now, does she get the big bursting reset value? Doesn't look like it. Drag denied by the... Oh my god. I actually don't think the drag would have connected onto Vala, but still, a staggering blow from Hogger pushes back the Dahaka as the bottom lane needs to be cleared out. Like a good chunk of experience to go for level 10 on the side of Finland. Dashes here and there from Karazim. Varian also able to charge to an ally. He does have the Warbringer level 10, which means he's got a 4-second cooldown on charge, and he can also charge to allied units, actually, because he can use the minion wave. Ball lightning from Cassia. She goes in with the Fen. That's a taunt from Varian onto the Vala. She's going to be trying to back away, getting some healing here and there from Stukov, but it's not going to be enough. Vala does go down. That's a reset for Li Ming as Stukov massively shoves Brightwing back. Sidestep from Li Ming, and the Immortal phase is going to be approached by the side of Russian players. Do they invade the camp? We didn't talk about it, but Judgment Tyrael, 7-sided strike for the Karazim. Vala holding level 10. Massive shove for the Stukov, and we also have the... not staggering blow, the shockwave from the Hogger. 59 stacks on the Cassia, 16 for the Vala right now. Karazim jumps onto the Li Ming as there's a shockwave, a Judgment. They have the CC, but not enough damage. Not enough damage was present for a kill. Vala gets a stack on my try over here. Actually, 2 little stacks on that Dahaka. Dahaka with enhanced agility. He's moving at 128% movement speed. He's just under mount for 5 seconds after tapping a bush. Oh, goodbye, Hogger. Li Ming blinking around. She gets a reset. That's another one right there. Q is doing absolutely fine in this engagement as a Stukov and Karazim try and back away. Massive shove. Here is Cassia rotating in. Taunt from the Varian onto Duke. That is a dead Stukov. As Varian, does he delay out the Hearth? No, he's just going to go for the siege in bottom lane. The Immortal is going to be in the top, is in the 50% mark. I was like, oh, did it actually spawn somewhere? And then I was like, wait a minute, we still have so much race and health available. 13 talent tier advantage to the Russian players as they're trying to chase onto Varian. He gets a phase shift from Brightwing. The spinny shooty shot from Vala, not enough. The turn of tables, that's a really good corridor fight with a shockwave, but where's the extra damage to get a kill? It's not available. Hogger bounces in, judgment from the Tyrael. Ren is the target, and this Brightwing is somehow still alive. Tyrael goes down. He's going to try and get the explosion, try and get the death timer reduction, but Brightwing blinks away. It's a quadra kill to the side of Russian players as they move back and grab the Immortal. And I think this might be the tool to push the game, to push into a keep, which will be into top as that's the more well-defended lane. But will the game go over to the side of Russian players? That is what we're going to find out here momentarily. Oh, goodbye, Stukov.
Team kill.
Good news, everyone. I think my work is working on extending my contract for 3 months. Hey, congratulations, Gatto. Hey, 3 more months of money. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Immortal is going to be dealing 1,332 damage into structures, has about 18,000 HP, and just over 15,000 shielding. So a good chunk of shielding and HP for the Immortal as we have the Judgment from Tyrael trying to get into the backline with the 7-sided strike from Karazim as well. They're going to share a bit of the pain between the Brightwing and that Cassia. Right wing blinking around. A Hogger goes down first. The ball lightning will expire. We have Tyrael in the back line trying to get some value for the team. It just does not work out. Death timer reduction. He gets 3 seconds off that death timer by hitting the variant with the explosion. Immortal will move into melee range as its shielding has dropped. Still a lot of HP for this Immortal as the top lane keep does go down. And with 2 dead, the death timers are low, but the members of Russian players are looking to end the game right here, right now, on Battlefield of Eternity. Can they do it? We're going to find out here in just a moment. Good shockwave from the Hogger onto a few enemies, but the Tyrael and Karazim are very low. Varian a little bit low right now as the Immortal, or the core shielding has gone down. Immortal still getting great damage in 60-some% on this core. It's falling slowly, but surely. 7-sided strike from the Karazim. We have a Varian going in for a taunt. Tyrael goes down, Stukov to fall. Bish does not even fall to the Tyrael explosion. The core does go down, and the GGs are called. Map number 2 going over to the side of Russian players. Nice, Cassia. Nice. All right. Russian players did win. All right. We'll thank everyone for the games, and then we'll take a look at the standings and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll get into our sponsored stream. I am going to quickly run to the bathroom, okay? I'm going to run to the bathroom super duper quick, all right? I'll be right back. I'm going to leave you with these stats, and when I come back, we will take a look at the brackets and stuff.